Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Vivek. I am the founder and CEO of One RX, which is a brand under this One Org umbrella that we have. We are into uh, AI for evidence for doctors in India. So we're a for doctors platform using AI to gather and deliver evidence at the point of care, right? Joining me, of course, along with me is Ashish. Ashish has been helping pharma companies build their brands in an earlier phase as well as in a new AI oriented phase. And he's been amongst the people who've ideated, worked with us, figured ways to help doctors a lot better. And in the journey, of course, help pharma companies also reimagine their brands and positioning. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm glad it's a small group. We keep it this way so that we can have more conversations, discussions amongst all of us. Will that be okay? Okay. So I'm going to start my slide share, but consider this as a two-way conversation. We can always ask questions, engage, interact, so on and so forth as we go through the core content. It won't be a very long conversation. We're going to keep it around 40 minutes or so. And the last 5 minutes are just open for our discussions. Are you now able to see my screen better?
Yeah, it's up.
Yep. Excellent. So like I was introducing, this is a part of One RX. It's a for doctors AI evidence platform. And we wanted to talk to you about engaging doctors in a AI world. Okay. We hold these very specific classes. This one is focused on pharma companies. And then we do, of course, separate conversations for doctors. Let me move forward. Very quickly, this is me. On the upper half is what I work for, and the lower half is what I work on. So what I work on, what I work for, of course, is my family, my hobbies, and my team. What I work on is on the upper half, which focuses on healthcare and AI. So I've done my AI in healthcare from Johns Hopkins University. I've done my AI in product management with MIT. I'm deep learner of psychology, so did my master's in psychology from IGNOU. I'm an engineer from IIT Varanasi and an MBA from MDI Gurgaon. Write for a couple of magazines, right? I started my career in GE Healthcare, working on MRI machines at that particular point of time. And now I've founded this company focusing on One RX. Let me move forward and ask all of us a question. And you can unmute yourselves. Love to hear your thoughts on this one, right? How do you see pharma outreach to doctors evolving in the future? There are a lot of changes in the macro factors, for example, policy decisioning. There are also a lot of fact changes in the way hospitals are allowing interactions. AI is coming in a very big way. Doctors are using ChatGPT for everything. How do you see pharma outreach to doctors evolve? I'm going to pause. I'd let you think, and I'd love to invite your thoughts on this.
In a long time, nothing has been so revolutionizing as AI, Gen AI, right? So everyone is familiar with it. Everyone is using it, including doctors, right? What it obviously helps doctors in this case is it empowers them to get the right information, right content, right? I'm talking about their personal lives, but I would see that they'd expect the same from any pharma company that reach out to them. How could they make it very pointed based on their interest areas? How could they make it, how do I say, um, very easy for them to get the information that they need at that point of time, very contextual, right? And personalized. I would see doctors expecting that from pharma companies.
A very fair point, Sheena. Thank you so much for sharing this. Dr. Krishna, could I invite you over next?
Yeah, I think it'll be more doctor specific, it'll be more digitalized one. Mass outreach will be there one. Point two will be it'll be specific to the doctor, and if it's set of specialty wise, it'll be more specific. Suppose if the pharma company looking into covering 3-4 divisions, look to it'll be one specific division will cater to cardio products, others mailers will be on diabetic portfolio. So it'll be specialty and doctor interested emailers will be there in terms of references or product pitching.
So digital is what I'm hearing, and also like a lot more deep, not just at the surface,
Yeah,
but a lot more deep interactions will be enabled, correct?
right.
Very fair, very fair. Very therapy focused area, very deep interaction so that it can solve for doctors' problems, correct? I think very, very good points. Satish, I know you wanted to be on mute most of the conversation, but if you want to step in, please do. Dr. Manjula, let me invite you in as well. What do you think? How will the pharma outreach to doctors evolve in the future? And I've got Ranjanji join as
I
well.
just want to say, me and Dr. Krishna sitting in the same
Oh,
room,
you're sitting together.
same company.
Okay,
So
okay, okay.
either I will be keeping, always there'll be echo for everyone, and so more or less share the same thing. And I think this also gives them some trust and transparency in terms of the information that they are going to get from us for pharma companies, and also it's go beyond the getting information. I think it helps in their practice as well. This AI integration in terms of administration and enhanced treatment planning, etc. So, which also we can help them to workflow optimization, etc. Can also be looked into as a part of the engagement.
I think that's a very fair point. So one, it starts off at the personalized space, and then it starts getting deeper into their own therapy areas. I think there were 2 points that you also mentioned, which were really very relevant: trust and transparency, right?
Yeah.
In this world of hallucinations and in this world where it turns out something, this need to have higher transparency and trust becomes a critical differentiating factor. Very true. Very true. I've got Nitin and Rajan also join us. Good afternoon, gentlemen. The question on the floor was, how do you see pharma outreach to doctors evolve in the future? And we're just sharing ideas right now. If you want to step in, please do. Okay, let me continue moving forward then. Okay, and what all of you are saying are, I think, spot on. We at OneRx also see this entire space evolve in exactly the same way, right? If possible, do switch on your videos. We'll do a quick centering exercise as we get in. I'd just love for all of you to sit straight on your chairs. Just sit straight. Take a short breath in and then a low, long exhale. Let's just center ourselves so that we are present here and not distracted by the 1 trillion things to do. Short inward breath, slow, long exhale, and one final round. A short inward breath and a slow, long exhale. Let me move forward. Okay, keep a notebook and pen in case you want to make any notes. And this is the data. Point of care matters, and we know this, right? What we have seen is a very slow behavior shift through just MR activity. For example, in one of the papers that we were going through, around 10 to 12% of prescription behavior shifts after approximately 7 to 12 months of very active MR activity. At the same time, at point of prescription studies in NEJM, what they are telling us is that they see around a 20 to 40% shift happening when at the point of care, when evidence messaging is bundled at the point of care. Okay. However, just structurally, 90% of our pharma outreach spend is outside this point of care, right? All of it happens outside and with limited or very short times to state the evidence as we are seeing it. So I'd love for you to remember these 3 terms, 10, 40, and 90. Slow behavior shift. Significant shift is seen when we are present at the point of care with an evidence-based messaging. And at the current moment, structurally, we are not present with evidence at point of care. How do we shift that? How do we orient ourselves towards this new age? This is what OneRx is all about. I'm going to play a short 1-minute video for all of us so that you get a complete idea of what we are trying to build, and then we will talk further over on it. Let me share my computer sound. So OneRx is a for doctors evidence AI platform, right? It gets integrated into the hospital's workflow or operates as a standalone app, depending on the hospitals and the maturity of their HIS. It is trained on trusted medical sources, journals, etc., hospitals' internal protocols, as well as what is best literature out there. And it's only for doctors so that they can check, once again, get a second opinion, cross-check it, cross-check the line of therapy, dosage guidelines, so on and so forth, right? This is the work that we are doing at the moment. And let me just move forward. The purpose of our conversation is that we are inviting pharma companies, because we're building one large ecosystem, to sponsor a therapy area, and they own it exclusively. So whatever is a sponsored therapy area, they will be visible to the doctor as a share of point of view with them, which comes across separately. As a part of it, they also receive anonymized real-time clinical insights that are being generated in that particular therapy area, and ultimately be recognized as a contributor to this entire therapy's evidence ecosystem, right? So this is what the platform is. This is how the pharma companies reimagine their presence at the point of care with evidence. There are 5 therapy areas that we are focused on at the moment: onco, cardio, diabetes, gynae, and infectious diseases. Of course, we're looking to start this early January and wrap this up by mid of January, so that we can continue focusing on strengthening the entire evidence infrastructure that is available to the doctors in India. With this, I am done with my share of conversation. To continue our conversation further, I'm going to invite Ashish. Ashish has spent most of his life in building brands for some of the leading organizations in the country, including Dr. Reddy's, Zydus, Glenmark, McLeod's. He is also a avid trainer with the Art of Living, and he follows that very passionately. Ashish, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Vivek, for the warm introduction. Let me share my screen now. So just to add into it, just to start with my introduction again. So did my MBA from NMIMS, then worked with McLeod's, Zydus, and Dr. Reddy's of the world, working with Indigene, playing a consultant role over here, and also uh, did my AI in leadership with ISB, did my MBA from NMIMS, and of course, I'm an art of living trainer, or the whatever time that remains after doing this goes with art of living. So that's about me. So we quickly jump into, without wasting a time, like how the data is now being poured into the healthcare system and how it is changing the complete landscape and how much doctor really have time to digest this. If you see the tsunami of the data, they every 73 days, the medical knowledge right now is getting doubling. This gets doubled up. There are 2 million paper which gets published every year. Okay. Every month, every month, 10,000 trials are being there. And if you will see, doctors require 27 hours in a day just to stay updated, which is humanly impossible, even naturally impossible. We just all have 27 hours, correct? So the point is the volume and the velocity of the evidence which has been generated has actually exceeded the traditional dissemination model, which is through medical reps or which is through WhatsApp, and we will be discussing those. So let us now understand what doctors are looking for. Actually, doctors really do not have time. They just have 2 minutes for one consultation. Less than 5% of a reading time. From 27 hours, it is just less than 5%. Correct? Less than an hour. And 50 to 60 patients they are looking at daily. And if you will see, 70% fall behind and cannot keep pace with this evolving clinical guidelines. Okay. So the decisions right now are made at the real-time clinical moments. Doctor do not have time. They are making the decisions when at a real-time level. That is what the shift that has happened. Now, within that less than 5% of a time, even that system where doctors are looking for evidences, that system is also fragmented. They are looking at search engines, guideline PDFs, peer network, that traditional medical network, the WhatsApps that the pharma companies send to them, the EMR system, their own platform, their saved references. They are whole lot of 6 to 8 to more than that disconnected, fragmented systems. And 82% of the clinical questions still remains unanswered when they really need it. Okay. So there is a clear lack of a structural data, and it is going to be the pharma who needs to solve it. And presence of an across evidence seeking platform which is missing, which is single unified, where everything is at one place when they need it at the point of clinical decisions. So expectations has now moved from instant answer. You need, when like the decisions, when they are prescribing, when they want to make a decision, they just want that answer at that moment. Evidence only content. They don't want, when if they want to understand about the toxicity, it should give toxicity. If they want to understand about efficacy, it should give efficacy. If they want to compare about two clinical trials, it should give about those two clinical trials. If they want to compare about the adverse event, it should only talk about that. They just need that answer at that moment. And they want that, not only that, they want that it should be integrated in their workflow. They are, so that they are not hopping up to 10 different platforms. And also the context has to be relevant. And there are structurally blind spot in the pharma. I must say this. Why? Because what physicians are looking for, fast, credible, evidence-based answer at the point of care. But what's the pharma goal is also that they also want to become a meaningful scientific present and informed engagement. They also want to become a scientific partners, correct? Which is day by day getting dwindled, and the doctors are not looking, the reps who are coming to them, that this person is going to give me that credible evidence that used to happen in the 1980s, where doctor used to wait for the medical rep. Now they are becoming a noise for them, correct? And the current reality is that the engagement are driven the split schedule interaction, but there is no meaningful scientific presence, which is there where doctors are right now relying into it. Having said that, pharma is doing a lot to what extent, but the model now needs to be evolved with the advent of the AI. Okay. Now, statutory warning before I say this. There is complete respect of the traditional model. And we firmly believe there is no replacement of a medical rep. You can put a camera, you can put give him an iPad, you can give him any damn thing, but a medical rep will eventually has to go and meet the doctor and comes back. That will always remain. But the point that we are trying to make is, right now, on an average, if comparing Indian company and the MNC company, on an average, 18 lakhs are generally spent on a medical rep annually, including salary, travel, training, samples, everything. Okay. But actually, what is happening in the market, there is a declining access. You don't have access in Medanta. You go, you will have a very small window where you have to, of an hour that a medical rep can meet it. In this particular time, you have to go through that staircase from the back, even in the uh, Ambani Hospital in Mumbai, and everywhere this is getting shrinked, and the plates are being put on the face that you can only meet from this for 5 minutes, and sometimes the doctors are eating, and there is a huge queue of a medical rep, and he's saying only brand name bolo aur aage jao. So all those things are happening, correct? So there is a declining access, there is an unmeasurable impact. After doing all this, you do not have an impact. What's the scientific impact that that has come out after that meeting, correct? You have a limited visibility of the physician intent of what are the decision making parameters for switching between the molecule, for prescribing this. And the more you go super specialized, the more you go into that division, the more the decision making parameters are changing. And but that is not happening, correct? So the point what we are saying, the engaging model now are becoming episodic. It is becoming difficult to scale. It is increasingly disconnected from the real-time decision making. And there is a right now, here comes the picture, and here 1RX comes to a play. Right now, if you will see a traditional model versus the 1RX model, there is economic irrationality. doctor will use 1RX daily for clinical decision. It is just a matter of time, correct? The AI has advent into it, the decision making, the doctor needs instant answers with the clinical backed database. That is going to happen. Okay. Right now, pharma pays zero for such kind of an engagement model. Field costs are 18 lakh. Okay. And there is no impact assessment tool where what's the kind of a impact that has happened after that call, correct? The opportunity is, if you will redirect even a fraction of that resources towards the new engaging channel, you will have a daily scientific visibility, you will have access to real-time engagement signals, you will have scale, you will know and understand by discussing what keywords, what the anonymity of the data that you will be getting it, how you can scale it up. Okay, so it's just a matter of time and it is going to happen. Now the race is who will adopt it first, and that is for sure. Okay, and why now 1RX makes strategic choice? It is less than 10% of the rep cost. It gives you daily scientific visibility. It will give you anonymity of data. You will understand real doctor intent at what stage physicians and researchers are taking that decision, comparing it, what are they searching, what are they looking, all those communication and the tools can be calculated, and it is completely safe uh, and has been validated. Okay. Now, what all pharma can do there at the platform? You can have your brand evidence card. Okay, you can, like, whenever a doctor is searching for any information, there is one thing you have noticed which is known as the therapy choice view. That becomes your brand evidence card where you can portray the information based on your brand. How, like, if you have an IPD technology, you can say you are looking for this molecule, you have looked at prefer our brand because it has an IPD technology and the resolution rate and whatever the point of differentiation that you have, you can position it. You can position your molecule by educating content. You can have you will have the intent insights that can be shared to you with the anonymity of the data, what physicians and doctors are looking for. And you can equip your field force based on that communication, that this is what the marketing can use those communications saying, this is what we have seen, this is what the parameters has come based on that, this is what the communication that we can do. And you can see that if it's, say, for example, in on-code dose calculation becomes a major challenge, so then you can directly create your calculator, see that doctors are looking for these kind of a calculation. You can create your tools and marketing tools and gimmicks, and a lot can happen in the evidence hubs platform also. So there are a lot of things that can happen and the pharma companies can partner with, because doctors are going to use it and they have the they and there gives you an opportunity to position yourself as a scientific evidence partner. And why pharma will invest in 1RX? Okay. Why should you do that? Because there is an evidence explosion. Correct. We have seen that there are so many studies coming. There are so many of data which is coming. The data is coming, but does your doctor have time to even look at it? He himself is just giving you less than 5% of that 27 hour, meaning less than 1 hour in a day, just to understand it. Okay. Now you will say my medical rep can go and do it, but your rep access itself is declining day by day. Okay. There is a rising complexity with the comorbidities coming in, so many comorbidities coming in, so many therapy area joining in. The cases are getting itself very complex. And the AI adoption curve is increasing. So this is, considering all this is the right time for such platform to make a major impact. And this is a right time for a pharma company to understand this switch and come into this picture, because if you will not, if you are delayed, you are delayed because someone else will come in, and whosoever has adopted it will be ahead of your curve, and you will keep fighting for that space. Because if one hospital has already adopted a platform, he's not going to switch it to the other in a very short span of time. And if you have missed the bus, you have missed the complete hospital, and that switch is that shift is coming, and you will see that is going to happen in few years time. Okay, and now I'll invite Vivek That's it that I wanted to share. Invite Vivek to take the session ahead. Hope you have got the point that we are trying to make. Go ahead, Vivek, over to you.
Thank you, Ashish. We can come to the next slide. Yeah. Thank you, Ashish, once again. We are inviting the right pharma companies to work with us and build this evidence infrastructure layer for doctors, right? This is inevitable. The adoption of digital tools with our doctors is extremely high, and someone or the other will be occupying this space. The key question is, will it be us who will be, or will it be you who will be gaining from the adoption in this particular space, right? As a pioneer, you become an evidence pioneer with us. So you get the brand cards and all the other places that Ashish talked about. We recognize with doctors as a person who, or as an organization that pursues scientific evidence-based medicine. Okay. You're able to get insights of the way the doctors are diagnosing, what are they prescribing, what is going in their own thoughts as they're doing a lot of this work, right? Because this is going to come directly since we are integrated into the hospital's workflow. And as we become pioneers of evidence, a lot of co-creation opportunities around calculators, education formats, which are available. Of course, you will exist as a separate card. The core answer that a doctor gets for their query is separate. They get that, which is only anchored on medical journals and other literature. And you get a separate space where you can put in your ideas, thoughts, talk about this and how you are promoting the cause of scientific evidence. Okay. I'm going to pause and I'd love to invite your questions, thoughts at this point of time.
Have you prepared the one you are explaining? Have you already done it and you have experimented it, or
That
it's
is
in the
correct.
process? Yeah,
That
is
is
it in
correct.
the process?
So there are 60 plus hospitals which are in waiting. Okay. Um, we have the product with us. It's integrated, it's working. There are hospitals that are waiting to be onboarded, and we have a mechanism that we onboard through validations with each and every hospital.
60 plus hospitals waiting to be onboarded. How many, what's the thing about waiting to be onboarded?
So there's a process that we start every hospital because there's a lot of validation that we do. It's very scientific evidence, right? And what we have noticed is that every therapy area and every hospital has its own unique pattern in the way they do their things. So for example, let's pick up RGCI, right? For onco. Now, the way RGCI's patients' data and medical history is there, the kind of cases that they have, we go through a validation phase with them, and then it gets into mass adoption. So we are in validation phases with a few corporate hospitals, with other hospitals, government hospitals, etc. around it. And given the infrastructure, etc., that has to be amped up at our place, we onboard hospital one by one, not like everybody take it today.
Okay. Which also means, essentially, at this point of time, do you have any doctors? You don't have any, how do I say, set of doctors actively using the platform. Is that fair?
Oh,
Is
no,
my
we have
understanding
doctors who
right?
are, no, we have doctors who are actively using it.
Okay.
So for example, onco
How many are
doctors,
onboarded?
there's a couple of onco doctors, for example, KGMC, Max, DNC, they use it on their cases. Okay.
Okay.
And they are giving us feedback. This should be better. That should be shortened. Shorten this answer here. Can you give me comparative pricing? Can you also give me, can I integrate insurance data of the patient so that you can then give me better molecule recommendations around the same? So we are in validations with these doctors.
Got it. And this is a very India specific platform, right? Applicable for doctors in India, or do you think this can be used as is? Do you have sites on, how do I say, exposing this platform for doctors outside India, making it relevant for them? What's your take on that?
In the short term, it is India focused. You're absolutely right about it. And we want to be extremely careful because, it's evidence-based medicine and you want to make sure that you are doing it in the right way. Okay. But as it gains traction, as it builds up its momentum, definitely, I think we will be moving on to other parts of the world as well. Right.
Got
Fair point, Srinath.
Yeah, hi Vivek, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Nitin, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Okay,
Nitin.
so excellent initiative. I must congratulate Vivek and Ashish for this initiative. So my question is, did you find any similar tool in India, and what difference your tool is providing?
There are not a lot of very similar tools, I have to say. Okay. There are tools in the US. Okay. For example, I'm sure you would have heard of Open Evidence, right? Or Dr. Oracle, right? Which work in US in these same lines. Okay. But they're not a lot of India specific tools. Now, in India, for example, you have through One Nation, One Subscription Scheme for government hospitals, a lot of access to journals directly. Okay. You have Up to Date, for example, which also allows access to a lot of journals. But here is the difference, right? Journals, etc., enrich knowledge. Okay, they don't solve a problem for the doctor. Okay. And given the explosion that Ashish was talking about, it's very difficult for doctors to take out a lot of time to go through a lot of literature only for knowledge. They want to solve the problem for the patient. This patient, for example, metastatic melanoma, male, Indian, 85. What toxicity of drug should I be worried about, right? So they want to solve that specific problem, and which is something we do. And at the moment, there are not a lot of established players on this space.
Okay, so meanwhile, going forward, can we get a demo of your platform to see later on? How does the platform works, and if I type in a query, how does it give the query answer? And does it really solve the point of care, query which doctor wants? So if any demo version you can provide or anything for few minutes or hours to show later on, so that would be good.
I think that's very fair. We'll set up some one-on-one time, okay, with you if you wish, and we can walk you through the platform, the way it works, so on and so forth, so that you get an idea of the way it'll work. Actually, very fair point.
Thank you.
Dr.
I
Basu.
think it's what I wanted to know was, can you send us a link? We just have hands-on. Then I would like to connect the entire team who are involved in maybe one-on-one, so that we can see how we can take this forward.
No, I think very fair, Dr. Manchula. We will definitely be doing that. Okay, that's very much possible. Let me do this. After this conversation, Sanjay from my team will send you an email. Okay, so that we
Okay.
can remain in contact. I'll also be CC'd on it. Okay, and if you
Yeah.
want, we can create direct WhatsApp group as well, so that it's faster communication aajkal versus emails.
Correct.
We will do that with you, and we can have a much more deeper conversation around this.
Absolutely.
Can do it
Absolutely.
in a one-on-one basis.
Correct. That's what. Thank you. Yeah.
All right, folks, I think we're almost up with our time. Thank you so much for your participation. As a next step, Sanjay from my team will drop you an email. What he'll also do, he'll create quick WhatsApp groups with all of us so that we can have a conversation around this one. And we
Thank
can
you.
have a more
Thank you
detailed
very much.
one-on-one conversation.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody.